Hey guys, Tarke here, and I know I've been away for a while. I've been in Ireland visiting Grill, and now we're doing massive catch-up with all of the new Delve stuff. We have the Balance Manifesto coming up tomorrow, I believe, or if not tomorrow in the next few days, so expect another video for that. Out of everything I've missed, I've separated all into tabs, and I've separated these tabs into 3 videos, so expect some channel spam. If you've missed any of those videos, go back and check onto it. This video is going to be talking all about graphics, filters, and instant casts, and we'll talk about the new skills and new league mechanics in separate videos. So to start off, we'll go with the beautiful voice of
Pop. 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 Pop.
French team, dude!
And that French team dude perfectly illustrates the kind of custom sound that you can have at your disposal. I'm going to try and come up with multiple Tarke-themed loot filters, and I'm also tempted to set myself the task of recreating some of my favorite Kanye songs through clever item dropping. So yes, custom loot filters, something we've wanted for a very long time, something we never really expected to get, but it's there. Apparently we can use nearly any sound we want, so MP3s, FLVs, or whatever. And Neversync is incorporating the usability into Filterblade. So yes, it should be fairly straightforward, and if you want to have your Tarke noises, then just start recording and taking snippets. If someone can come up with the premium Tarke filter, we might come up with a prize, if that's something you guys be into. But yeah, fun filters are always a good thing. Obviously, amazing quality of life. Yeah, I expect to hear some good scat. Now, another big addition along the lines of that is we're now getting item beams that we can control. We can choose how big the beams will be, if they are temporary or permanent. And a lot of people are like, oh, saw them from... A lot of games have done this. It's cool. I don't really care where it comes from. It's very helpful. Having nice visual and audible cues just makes it way easier to really track everything. And this goes into even more reason why it's important to learn how to make and maintain your own loot filters, of which I have multiple videos. And on that note, we can now also mess around with custom map icons. So hopefully through the beams, the map icons, and the pops, we should hopefully no longer miss any juicy drops. Now, one of the interesting things about this, aside from people having a lot of fun messing around with some more third-party stuff, is exactly how much this will affect the economy. Because obviously with all this extra customization and visual cues, it should be a lot harder to miss those really juicy little drops in the background. I think the mini-map in particular is going to be the biggest thing. Being able to quickly double tap at the end of a map just to make sure you don't miss anything is huge. Sometimes you hear something, you miss it, or you're not really paying attention, can't really bothered. Just be able to go tap is going to be huge. I'll be very interested to see how this affects the economy, and as someone who's going to be playing SSF, seeing, if I'm getting way more of certain items than I normally would. Obviously, that always changes from league to league, but I'm really curious to see if this has some, crazy long-term economy effects. But either way, it's just a nice feature to have. Now, on the theme of nice features, GG have done some rather impressive illumination and shadow stuff. We first saw these shown off in the actual Delve trailer, and they just look really beautiful, and I'm mostly excited about coming up with some cool hideouts because I'm lame like that. But yeah, I think this is really cool. And if people meme about Tencent money, I mean, this is where it's going apparently, so dude, I'm into it. Apparently we have the option to disable this all, so if you're afraid of performance issues, that skill looks so fucking awesome, but it's probably going to be terrible, but we'll get into that later. It should be good, and if it's super laggy, you can just turn it off. Also, apparently all of our MTX will have glows and stuff added to them, so your MTX might get buffed, but at the same time, your favorite MTX combos might end up horribly mix matching and stuff and looking like shit. A thing which always springs to mind for me is in World of Warcraft, one of my friends had a potato PC for as long as I can remember. And he always used to think that everyone else's armor sets looked like shit. And that was because he couldn't render the particle effects on people's like weapons and shoulders. And I just kind of like the idea of you having some like disco clown fiestas running around in town and stuff, and then they suddenly upgrade their PC and realize, oh god, I've been looking like an idiot for all these years. But yeah, I think it looks fucking amazing, and hopefully it doesn't come with too much of a performance cost. But yeah, I think it looks great. And on that, we have some improvements to the water tech. Now, usually in games, water stuff is like very heavy. Water and shadows like the main two, which usually like really chug a system. So I'm hoping that we have some like advanced lighting options which are separate to the shadow options, so you can really like fine tune what we want on and what we want off, you know. But I think it looks cool. One thing to keep in mind in maps, how many watery maps are there? A couple, but this is mostly going to be a buff for like the campaign. But yeah, a lot of the maps, and also Delve obviously being all undergrounded in mines, you're probably not going to be seeing too many, you know. I mean, there could be a giant underwater stream in Delve, but probably not. So you're probably going to have a lot more enjoyment with the shadows, for example. So maybe crank the shadows up, but then turn down the water effects. But, you know, there are a few hideouts which have some cool watery things going on. So, yeah, we could maybe do some really cool things. And again, it all goes back to hideouts, because really, if there's one thing that Tarke cares about, is turning Path of Exile into these Sims. Now, one of the largest and, for me, most exciting features of Delve League, instant casts. I think I'm more excited about instant casts than I am about Delve itself. And instant casts are exactly that. As you can see, we have a beautiful Scion pressing a bunch of buttons and not having to stop. This is fucking huge. Phase Run has been like a long-term favorite of mine for a really long time, and I'm a big fan of miners, and this will affect detonate mines. So yeah, this is like a crazy, crazy buff to bow builds, wanders, and staff builds through Phase Run, and then anything which uses convocations or summoners, anything which regularly needs to toggle on Vaal skills, also Vaal Grace, Vaal Haste. I have a horrible memory of dying in the cast animation of Vaal Grace on an old hardcore character back in the day, and ever since then Vaal Grace has been kind of soured on me. And yeah, being able to just instantly toggle on Phase Run and Vaal skills in boss fights is going to be huge. One thing though, we need to keep in mind that we are always limited by skill slots. They could still announce, like, they've announced a lot of cool shit, so they could still announce, like, some, like, shift modifiers to maybe unlock more action bars, but, you do need to keep in mind, as exciting as it is to be able to use something like Molten Shell as a granite flask, which you could, it gives a lot of armor, and shoving Phase Run into every single build, you're gonna have to keep in mind, well, how many buttons does my build already have? You know, most builds run a Vaal skill, so that's 1, then a movement skill, that's 2, and then your main skill, 3, and then it's like, do we need to manage a bunch of random other fluff? They're trying to really fit in as much rando utility in as possible. And one other slight thing which mildly irks me a little bit is one of the changes of this is the war cries. Now, the war cries will be instant if you're using an ascendancy which gives instant war cries. Which is nice, but to be honest, I feel like war cries should just be instant baseline. The only case records that being particularly OP would be Abyssal Cry. But other than Abyssal Cry, you know, Rallying Cry is very powerful, Enduring Cry is very powerful, but not many people realistically use it these days, and a change like this actually further enforces the clear speed meta, and when we're further pushing the clear speed meta, just let everyone use instant war cries. I think instant war cries is fun. More utility is good. We're trying to push more utility into Path of Exile while at the same time making Path of Exile faster. Well, maybe making Path of Exile slower with Delve. That becomes a core mechanic in infinitely scaling content. But still, I just feel like just make all the utility fluff things instant. Try and promote people thinking.
Steam, dude!
Feels good, man. And thank you for that Twitch Prime, my lad. But yes, and one other small, very small, but very pleasant quality of life change. This is a still image taken from one of Ziggy D's most recent videos. And when you hover over the support gem,
Steam, dude!
it tells you what active gems it can be supported to. And thank you, you jabroni. So this is mostly just going to be a nice little addition when there are new skills you're unsure of, or for newer players, Xbox players, and Megalol. But yeah, there's some really major quality of life stuff, and that's kind of that. And there might be even more, and if there is, I'll make more videos about that. But yes, I'm now going to record a video on the new skills and the leagues. So if you haven't seen those videos yet, check them out. They'll be on the channel. I'm Tarke. Have a good day. Bye-bye.